Okay. So, oops. Okay, microbial diseases. Okay, so basically, the flow of urine prevents infection because the flow washes bacteria out. Okay, so portals of entry. Okay, so blah blah. Female reproductive system, the male reproductive system. Okay. Okay, so the microbe always goes up. Okay, if it enters something like the uterus, it will enter the bladder because it has to go. Um, so, uh, you know, if system. Okay. So for it to enter the uterus, sorry. So here's it. So the way the microbes come in, they always come in through here, and they can either go into the bladder or through the vagina into the uterus, so they don't share a common pathway. So the answer to that question would be no. Okay. 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 So normal urine is not sterile. Okay. Okay. So the predominant microbes of vagina, lactobacillus, um, streptococcus, okay, some gram-negative, Candida albicans yeast. Okay. So the growth of these guys change with the time of the month. Okay. So the pH of the vagina changes with the time of the month. Like basically, when you're receptive, um, the pH is more neutral. When it's not, it's more acidic. Okay, and so there are so many changes as the monthly cycle progresses. Okay, all right. The male one obviously is a little bit different because they don't have changes. Okay. All right, so these are just some definitions, make sure you understand them. Okay. Um, okay. UTI, urinary tract infections, okay, are mostly due to E. coli um, coming out of the um, digestive tract into the urinary tract. Okay. Obviously, this occurs more commonly in females. Okay. All right. So urinary tract infections caused by E. coli, Listeria, okay, it kind of more common in female than men, okay, due to not only the short length of the urethra, but basically the proximity to the anal opening, okay. Okay, so the diagnosis for that is greater than 100 CFUs of a single species and a positive leukocyte esterase test, which means there's white blood cells there. Okay. Okay. Pyelonephritis is again caused by E. coli. It means there's a serious infection of the kidneys. Okay. They form scar tissue in the kidneys. That generally means your kidneys are not functioning nearly as well. Like the kidney, the tubes and stuff in the kidney are very, very sensitive. Even a tiny amount of scarring will affect function. Okay. Okay, so we'll skip that Spora and Terragangs. Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Okay. Let's see. So STI home kits. Um, so obviously, if you have a STD or STI, um, it might be kind of embarrassing, and not people who are not there, people who are not willing to show up at a doctor and just say, hey, look at my um, penis and stuff like that. Okay, so they try to hide it, they try to put it off, and that's bad. So what they did now is have take-home kits where collect samples at home and basically swab it and mail it to the lab yourself and something like that. Okay, and then after it turns positive, then you go to the clinic and you have no excuses at that point, right? So test for HIV, the oral test, the test for your UTIs, the Dipstick Test, right? We got here. Okay. So the pros of home testing really quick. The more cases are diagnosed, it prevents people who are shy and just are embarrassed about whatever they did. And so you take it at home and get results faster. Okay. 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 Observation symptom, blah blah. Okay. Okay. Gonorrhea. Gram-negative symptomatis. Okay. Uh, I'm sure you guys understand gonorrhea. Uh, this is incident per case. Blah blah blah. Okay. Symptoms. Okay. In men, painful urination. Your painful urination is charged with pus. Okay. Inflammation of the epididymis. Okay. Uh, in females, there is far fewer symptoms, and that's not a good thing because even if there are some symptoms, you get diagnosed less often, and if it's untreated, it can cause pelvic inflammatory disease. Okay. Um, if left untreated, it can disseminate become systemic, which can cause arthritis, meningitis, and endocarditis. Okay. Um, and you should pass it on to newborns. Okay. So that's a typical pus discharge. Okay, the treatment is antibiotics. Okay, so for all the diseases, okay, and I mean this from back at the beginning when we were talking about diseases, when they mention like treatments or different antibiotics, I don't need you to understand which type of antibiotics. Okay, all right. There's no adaptive immunity. Gonorrhea is very good at shutting down adaptive immunity due to energetic variability, and the open proteins actually bind to T cells, which prevent activation and therefore memory formation. Okay. Okay, so skip this one. Okay, pelvic inflammatory disease. Okay, um, this can lead to PID is an extensive bacterial infection of the pelvic organs. This is why I said like gonorrhea, you need to treat it right away, et cetera. It basically it results in chronic abdominal pain, inflammation of the uterine tubes. Okay, that uterine tubes, if they scar, that means infertility, or even worse, ectopic pregnancy. Okay, which means the baby develops somewhere that's, or the embryo implants somewhere that's not correct, either in the abdominal, in the uterine tube, okay, or fallopian tube, or somewhere else, even outside the pelvis. Okay, which can rarely happen. Okay, so there we go. You can see the inflammation of the tubes there. Okay, especially the right one. The fibria here, all inflamed. Okay. Okay, syphilis. So there you go. Okay. Okay. By the way, hold on 1 second. The gonorrhea discharge. The gonorrhea discharge is this white thing right here. It looks like semen. That's where the term gonorrhea actually comes from. Okay. Okay. So, Palladium is syphilis. Okay. So primary syphilis is a typical UTI. Okay. Um, Primary stage, Shannon at the site of infection about 3 weeks after exposure. Is painless but highly infectious. Okay. I'm pretty sure that this is a Schenker sore right here. This is highly infectious. Okay. If you see that, go right away, get that taken care of. It's about treatment. Okay. If you let it grow, okay, the secondary stage, okay, you can see skin and mucosal rashes. So here, okay, and then that's still treatable, I think. And then the last one is not. The gummas in tertiary stage, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Um, you can get neurosyphilis, which affects the CNS, results in dementia. Beethoven probably died of this, etc. Okay. The tertiary stage occurred much, much later. Okay. Okay. The syphilis detection methods are basically standard. Okay. There are antibody tests. Okay. So serological tests. Okay. ELISAs. Anytime immunoassay is just like ELISA. It's just a simpler version. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll skip this one. Okay. Bacterial vaginosis. Okay. Gardnerella vaginalis. Okay, it's the fishy odor, the frothy discharge. Okay, that's a sign of bacterial vaginosis. Okay. Is the growth of these bacteria on the surface rather than inflammation. There's no actual inflammation there. Okay, herpes. So herpes, there's two types: oral herpes and genital herpes. Okay, genital herpes is simplex 2. Okay, like painful vesicles on the genitals, painful urination. Again, it hides in the sciatic, not sciatic, the sacral nerves. Okay, it can come out at any time due to stress, okay, emotional stress or illness, anytime where the immune system lowers. Okay, treatment, acyclovir, etc. Okay, or analogs of acyclovir. Okay, genital herpes, neonatal herpes, herpes crossing the placental barrier. Okay. Genital warts, okay, caused by human papillomavirus, HPV. Okay. So this is genital warts, abnormal growth. Okay. Okay. So the treatment is just removal of the warts, but there is HPV vaccines. Okay, if you're a sexually active female, you should definitely consider getting that because it kills a bunch of women. Okay, annually. In addition, it also makes women infertile. So, yeah, if you're sexually active female, then you should definitely take an HPV vaccine. Okay. 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 This one, I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is the yeast infection. Okay. In the mouth, it's called thrush. Okay. Thick yellow discharge, etc. Okay. Trichomoniasis is a normal habitat. It just gets it grows when the normal acidity of the vagina is disturbed. Okay. Treatment. Okay. I don't believe it does anything in the male. Okay. All right. That was fast. And that's the last of the lectures for microbiology. We're not going to go over the other two because they're not really important to you guys. All right.